The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
I'm Chris Dashi.
And I'm Trevor Gumbel.
And we are the hosts of On Seagal, a once-a-month look at Steven Seagal's filmography. If we can call what we're talking about on this episode of the show a film, or a movie, or an experience that anyone would want to have other than watching it because they have to talk.
And that's the only reason I watched this. Yep. I watched it twice, just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I'm going to tell a story out of school, folks. I watched this film, but I was admittedly distracted, so I wasn't sure if I caught everything. So, like the dedicated host of the show that I am, that don't want to disappoint.
You're a professional.
Professional I am. I restarted the film and watched it over again, and I realized I didn't miss a goddamn thing.
So on that note, we are here to talk about Contract to Kill, a Steven Seagal film that came out recently. Came out being a interesting phrase.
He's a bad one, John. CIA trained. The Crimea airline bomber. The one that took down the plane with 238 innocent people on board.
Who is the target?
So I guess you're back. An Islamic extremist. These guys are attempting to form an unholy alliance with cartels.
And that brings you to me.
You're someone to be reckoned with.
A covert mission. I want to pick my own team. I want my own gear. And I'll need a jet.
An elite team.
You must be John Harmon. Might have a job for you.
What do you propose we do?
We interview folks. If we like them, we give them a box of chocolates. If we don't, we kill them. The Sonora cartel is holding a big meeting. It's my job to stop them.
At the elevators, 8th floor.
Gotcha. Room 826.
On my count.
3, 2, 1. Game on.
A global threat.
Rivera's on the move.
Lose him now.
I just can't let you come into America and activate these cells.
Do you know that you threaten too much?
Well, that's kind of how we do.
Or maybe I just call your bluff.
When all else fails,
What's the play? Oh, to get my partner back.
they don't.
They can decimate a U.S. city in seconds. We're finish what we started.
Steven Seagal. Contract to Kill.
The storm is coming.
It was limited release in the United States, but it was direct to video for the most part. And it is a new Steven Seagal film. It came out in 2016.
Yes.
So it is directed by Keone Waxman. If you have been a listener of ours, Keone Waxman will be a name you have already heard.
And we'll hear again.
Yeah, and when we talked about cartels, and like Trevor said, it is a name you will hear many more times as we work our way back through Steven Seagal's filmography, because he has directed a large portion of these direct-to-streaming or video-on-demand films. In this film, Steven Seagal plays John Harmon, a man who is a CIA agent.
Who's retired, I believe.
Who's retired, and they raid a compound in Mexico, and they find that terrorists and cartel members are working together, and things happen. I guess he convinces the terrorists that the terrorists, people that the terrorists are working with are actually trying to fuck the terrorists over, I guess.
Yeah, maybe? They basically there's three people, and I forgot their names because that's how less of a shit I give about this film.
Harmon, played by Seagal, Matt Sharp, played by Russell Wong, and Zara Hayek, played by Gemma Dallender.
Yes. We'll get to her and Seagal's relationship in a second.
If that's what you want to call it.
Good God. Okay. So what they do is they find out that the drug lords and the terrorists are working with each other. The drug lords are working to get a terrorist over the border
into the
States. As a sleeper cell, I believe, into the States.
Yeah.
So Seagal and his team are hired to stop him. And what they do basically is they pit the terrorists and the drug leader against each other.
So this is a real thing that they've worried about, right? Have you heard about this? This is a real thing that they were worried about in the mid 2000s.
About drug cartels helping terrorists over the border?
Yeah, this was do you remember hearing about that in the mid 2000s? The Mexican drug cartels are working with Al Qaeda, and their help. It's man, what a fucking leap that is.
I think they're still talking about it in various ultra right wing news outlets.
Which, given who's in this movie, that kind of tracks. It was funny. There's a little diatribe at the end of the movie that when we get to it, we'll get to it. It's really something else, but this movie feels a little panicky. It's fear-mongering a little bit.
It's placing to us a problem that doesn't fucking exist.
If it existed, we would know about it.
I mean, let's face it, drug cartels are not the most secretive organizations.
No, they burn people in barrels and they hang dead bodies off the side of freeways with regularity.
You think they're going to hide trying to sneak a terrorist over the border? Fuck no.
Well, frankly, I think the reality is I don't think the drug cartels don't want to bring terrorists into their midst, because if they bring terrorists into their midst, that makes them now a target of the U.S. government, and the cartels aren't a target of the U.S. government right now. What's kind of insane is if you think about the drug cartels don't have a big presence in this country, because if they did, they would become the problem of the U.S. government, who would then have no reason not to make them a bigger problem everywhere, and they don't want to do that because the war on drugs is tied into the cartels. Let's just put it that way. And the war on drugs has not been a success.
No, it's been a colossal fucking failure.
Exactly. Which is why I was glad in this movie they weren't trying to stop drug dealers; they were trying to stop terrorists.
But the drug dealer in this film, oh dear God, the main bad guy was the most cliched, unoriginal drug cartel leader that I've ever seen in my life. And it seemed like every time he entered the film, it was in slow motion because they were trying to make him look dangerous and, evil and cool or some shit like that. Yeah. So Seagal gets recruited because he's retired. In my opinion, the most interesting scene of the film is the guy explaining to Seagal why he needs to do this and what he needs to do and why he needs to do it. The guy playing the recruiter who's recruiting him back into the film, was the most interesting part of the film. And as soon as he was gone, I didn't give a shit.
You mean all those Eastern European actors that they were trying to play off as Americans and Hispanic actors?
Well, you could tell his accent was slipping like so many times.
What about the guy who plays the main drug dealer who's like clearly Eastern European? Like,
well, I think
oh,
again, I think this is filmed in Eastern Europe, like
it's filmed in Romania,
like Cartels was, I believe.
Like probably a lot of these Keone Waxman Seagal movies are. Look, nothing wrong with filming in Romania, but
not at all.
Here's the thing: you're going to use actors from Eastern Europe. They don't sound like actors from anywhere else. They sound like Eastern European actors,
and make them be from Eastern Europe.
Exactly.
Don't
this
try to.
Doesn't have to be set in the United States.
No, I mean, terrorism and drugs are all over the world, so it's not like it's a problem native to this country.
And to be fair, most of this movie isn't set in the United States. Most of it is set in Istanbul, which is totally not just Romania.
Because the recruiter explains to Seagal that the FBI can't do it and the CIA can't take care of it. That leaves, was it the DEA, I believe he said, was like, then wait, the DEA is under the same administration that the CIA and the FBI are. Why are they the only ones who can take care of this shit? Because they're drug enforcement agencies? I don't know.
Hey, this movie, like the last two present-day Seagal films that we've watched, it's doing the same thing that those movies did. It is using flashbacks to establish what the movie is going for, and those flashbacks make no sense, and they're interchangeable, too. You could put the flashbacks from any of the other movies we've seen in here, and they would make just as much sense.
Here's the thing. I had semi-okay hopes for this film because, like we mentioned in the Cartel review, I enjoyed Cartels. I kind of enjoy I kind of, like what they were doing. I thought to myself, maybe Keone Waxman has something that makes the films enjoyable. Maybe he has certain style. And I was proven very wrong in this film because it's just so uninteresting, boring, all over the place, and just...
It's very generic. It is so...
Oh, it is generic as hell.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. This feels like I was talking about this with my lovely wife earlier this week. You know the term shovelware for software, right?
Yeah, where they just throw it on a system and you can't get rid of it or something like that.
Yeah, or it's like software that serves no purpose. Like Steven Seagal's, like these direct to streaming videos, they remind me of Big Rig Truckers, the computer game in movie form. They are shovelware in film form. I was watching this film research for another project called Sage Paints the Sky, an American Girl. And when I was watching that movie, it reminded me of these movies. It's like, who the hell is writing these movies? Who is financing these movies? And who is watching these? Because I can't tell for the life of me who of any of these three groups the people are, and I really don't know their motivation. And with something like this, is this like a tax write-off? Is this like a tax break? Are they funneling money through a production company? Like, I don't understand who is watching these movies.
Is Keone Waxman trying to pad his resume? Like, is Seagal trying to pad his resume?
That's what I can't tell, because looking at this movie, there's nothing to offer anyone in this film.
No, there isn't, because nothing really happens. I don't feel any certain threat. I don't feel any sense of danger or excitement. I was bored. I was really, really bored.
You know what's interesting? Think about this with all these Seagal movies. In any good action movie, the moment the villain and the hero are in the same room together, should be a level of tension of like who's going to get the upper hand. In all of these Seagal movies, at least these later ones, when Seagal gets in a room with the person, it's the first time, it's the only time, and Steven Seagal often has the upper hand. Even in the movies where he's the villain, like General Commander, he has the upper hand on the hero. What's funny is there's no tension in any of these action movies that we've seen with Seagal, these later ones. There's no tension because the moment he fights the villain is the end of the movie. They're never in the same room together. They're never interacting. It's insane.
And the only scene he has with the villain lasts a few seconds because he just fucking shoots him.
It's insane to me. There's no... you can't have a movie with tension where the villain and the hero are separated the entire film, and the only time they're ever face-to-face on screen, one of them is
the end
dead.
fight scene.
Yeah, and one of them is dead within the first 30 seconds because, yuck, Steven Seagal can never afford to be upstaged by anyone.
Well, we've said this so many times on our podcast. There is no threat to Seagal in a Seagal film.
Even if I'm being led to believe and told to believe there is, I cannot be forced to believe that he is under threat. No. Because at this point, we know it will never be the case. I haven't seen a movie yet where he's been in threat for the most part. What, Tommy Lee Jones in Under Siege? Is that it? I mean, come on.
Like, okay, Tommy Lee Jones is so not. And
Everett
when we get to
in Under Siege 2, is that what it is? Like, no. Like, he's never. It's not like it's not like he's ever faced Dolph Lundgren level of physical imposing.
At least with Jean-Claude Van Damme, there are hits that are getting to him. You know,
he's fast. He's a fast guy. He's a fast, quick martial
But
he
still takes hits, doesn't he?
Yes, of course. So does Arnold. So does Sylvester Stallone.
You can't be an intriguing action hero if you're invincible.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't be brave if you're indestructible, to quote the film Angus.
That's true.
You remember that speech that Grandpa gives? Superman isn't brave. You can't be brave if you're indestructible.
It's true. You can't.
And to be an action hero that you connect with, there has to be some vulnerability there. And Seagal is too up his own ass to give himself any fucking vulnerability.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's him, or I wonder if that is just the sycophants that he's surrounded himself with that just tell him, oh, this role's great. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. Because that's the thing. You don't keep making these movies if you think they're bad.
No, I mean, obviously Seagal sees some merit in it. So maybe he just sees a paycheck. Who knows?
I will tell you, if I read this script and I was making a decision on whether or not I wanted to be part of this project, it would probably seem like a really, really easy paycheck. Because let's not kid ourselves. Steven Seagal's not in this movie a whole lot.
When he is, the major action scenes of him are him shooting, not fighting.
Or sitting.
He has a couple fight scenes, but that's just about it. There's not much work for him to do. Most of the work is done by his teammates, Russell Wong and Gemma Dallander, and that's it. I mean, and by the way, can we talk about Russell Wong?
Why is he in this movie?
To be the guy who controls the drones.
No, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, like, why is he in this movie? He's like a known quantity. And this is 2016.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wong has been in like some really good films. I mean, he was in fucking The Mummy. He was in New Jack City. He's been in Westworld. He's a legit action actor. What he's doing in this film, maybe he wants to work with Seagal. Who fucking knows? The drone thing I just thought was more funny than anything.
Holding a gun.
And he blows up a car.
Let him blow your car.
The thing barely. Yeah, that's what I found funny. Is like, no, just stay here, and lets him blow up the.
Whisper even lower, because Steven Seagal is barely audible in this movie. On top of everything else, he's
just stay here. Just stay here. Let him blow up your car. And the thing is barely holding. You see the thing barely holding onto the gun because you see the gun shaking. Yeah, like, how did he even hit the fucking target?
I don't know, man. This movie looks really cheap. It looks cheap for a movie made in 2016.
And the scene where the terrorists and the drug dealers see the drone outside their fucking window.
What's that?
Like, was he trying to be found out, or was he trying? Either way, it's so fucking stupid.
Let me just have this drone up 40 stories. He's sitting in front
visible to the terrorist fucking window.
You know what? You and I are not fans of cinema sins. I hate that kind of shit.
Oh, fucking I do too. Oh my God. I used to be a fan, but it got to like the same and it got nitpicky as fuck. I'm not listening to this anymore.
It's people that are not engaged film viewers. They're not active film viewers. They're passive film viewers. They'll look at the screen and be like, oh, that's fucking dumb. Why is that like that? I'm pointing that out only because while you might think the thing that we're complaining about is a little ridiculous, if you were to watch the movie, not advocating you do, it is on Tubi TV though, which I've used a lot more in the last couple weeks than I ever have. So little happens in this film. It is
so little.
It's so disappointing because, again, we've talked about this before. We talked about this with Vern. We talked about this so many times at this point.
Yeah.
We know that Seagal can act and could act if he wanted to, and it's just, no, I don't want to.
He even has a little bit of charm if he tries.
If he tries.
Throughout this film, the only thing going through my head was, I don't care. I do not care.
And it's not it's because they don't give you a reason to care.
They don't. And can we briefly talk about the relationship between Gemma Dallander and Seagal in this film that is forced as hell? And they have a very unnecessary scene where they just do it to show her tits for a few minutes. It was so gratuitous. It actually tit. It was so gratuitous. It actually just pissed me off. It was like, God, this feels like something Seagal asked for.
It felt icky.
It really did feel icky.
The problem is like Seagal.
Because I will give his more recent fare this. They don't really try to put him with a younger female, and I actually kind of gave him props for that.
But you know what the problem is, Trevor? In the original movies, it's not like we were sitting saying, oh my God, his chemistry with
Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah, was so good. Like, no, I remember because I just edited that episode recently. When we talked about that, we were talking about how fucking weird that was. So as far as I'm concerned, Steven Seagal's movies don't need love interest because anytime he has one, it's either ham-fisted, like this one, or it feels gross, also like this one. It's just gross. Something about him is gross. On a woman,
I can see why women found him attractive back in the early 90s. Now, he's a sack of something. He just has no charisma whatsoever.
No, and he can't get over the fact that his hair is turning gray either.
He is, his love interest in his films are always himself. He's his own love interest because, oh my God.
And loves himself.
He's like masturbatory variations of loving. And
it's wild, man. It's wild how little, like, it's wild how gross that scene with him and Gemma Dallender feels. Like,
it's not even like explicit.
No,
it's just him like touching her.
We've seen two actors who have no chemistry together be forced into a love scene. We've seen that in other movies.
Yeah.
And it's not like physically revolting. Watching Seagal and Gemma Dallender in this film for some reason, it's just gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's him running his hands over her, and it's just like, I
want to know what Gemma Dallender was thinking during that scene.
It doesn't matter. She was in that scene, and it was awful, and it doesn't matter what she was thinking because it was not good.
Okay, how about this? I edit my question. How many drinks did it take her to do that scene?
No, it was an addition to her contract, or that's the reason she's in it, is because they paid her.
That's sad, man.
Nobody would agree to be in that scene.
There is no reason for that scene. None. No reason for them to be in a relationship in the film.
And then he starts fighting, gets into a scene at the beginning where she's being disrespected by some local Eastern European men.
That wasn't the same girl, was it? That wasn't the same girl.
Oh, sure. I guess not. It doesn't.
It was just a waitress.
Sure. The fact that I couldn't tell should speak fucking.
That says a lot about the film.
Yeah. And this guy's like, "Hey, essay," and it's like,
oh God,
it's clearly 80 yard. Hey, essay, and yes,
what's where you're going, essay?
Kicks the shit out of him, but he's like, you need to see yourself the way we see you, which is like this guy who's just hanging on to the last straw of not being a 68-year-old man, 69-year-old man. That's the thing. At least Roger Moore had the wherewithal during View to a Kill to say, okay, it's not believable anymore that I'm with the 20-year-old girls. It's not believable anymore that I'm doing the skiing and the jumping off of the Eiffel Tower. Like, it's not believable. I'm taking myself out of the casting of this character. Steven Seagal needs to get to that point.
It's the Woody Allen.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
It's the Woody Allen complex,
or
man.
The Harrison Ford thing, man. Look at Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones 5. He's older than Seagal is, and he is going to be doing way more in that movie. And again, it's to this point where it's like, I know that the industry is notorious for having a hard time with casting older
actresses.
I'm talking actors.
Okay.
Gender non-specific.
Okay.
For me, sitting here watching these Seagal movies, I realize now that is the problem. And that's the problem that neither one of us have really talked about. We've never brought up Steven Seagal's age, but watching this movie for whatever reason, and look, this movie is not as old as even, I guess this movie is more...
He was 64 when he made the film.
Yeah,
he was 64.
He's older in Attrition. He's older in Cartels. And while Cartels has some of the same problems that this movie does, I believed that he could do the things that he was doing in Attrition because it was a lot less that he was being asked to do.
Yeah, I mean, Seagal right now is 69 years old.
Yeah. And what are the odds we get another movie like this? In the next year? If not getting one in the next 6 months, I mean, the likelihood is he's already worked on one and gotten one done.
Is he still trying to get Out for Justice 2 made?
I'm not sure if that was real.
Well, it's still on his IMDb page, so...
Sure. Go look at Guillermo del Toro's IMDb page. You'll see all...
Above the Law 2. I apologize. Above the Law 2.
Stephen King's IMDb page that has a film called Project Cujo. Canine Justice Unit or something. I'm not making this up.
Oh, God. I know you're not.
I know. I think the Steven Seagal age thing is something that needs to really have a pin put in it because, dude.
He has fighting skills, but...
No one's questioning that.
But the fact is, you can't fake time. You can't beat it. You're going to show your age, man. It happens.
Believably, I can't believe you anymore that you can't do the things that you are claiming and expecting us to believe you can do.
You cannot fake that you're younger than you are at all. Just fucking go with it.
And a 60-year-old guy with like an 18-year-old girl. I'm nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna sit here and be an ageist, but
no, not at all.
In this movie with this actor, these two actors together, it is so just kind of unpleasant a scene as one could imagine a pseudo sex scene with Steven Seagal in 2016 can be.
And here's the thing: I'm not saying that older May-December romances can't work in reality.
No.
It's possible. I mean, look at, Harrison Ford is dating, I think he's still dating Calista Flockhart, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they're married maybe.
But they're like 20, 30 years apart, I think.
Yeah, it is literally just in the context of this movie.
And fucking look at, what was her name? From Twin Peaks. Laura Flynn Boyle. Wasn't she dating Jack Nicholson for a while? So I'm not saying it can't work. In terms of the film, we go to films to escape. We go to films because we don't want to see in reality, especially Seagal, making love to a woman who's like 40 years his junior.
I don't want to see Steven Seagal making love to anyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care what age it was. Here's the thing. At this point, it's pretty clear to both of us that it doesn't matter the age of Seagal. He is the problem. He is not a believable love interest for anyone.
He exudes no sexual charisma.
He's a good-looking guy in the 90s. He's a good.
No, he's a fine-looking dude in the 90s. I mean, he was in good shape. He had a decent-looking face. He, wasn't bad-looking. I could see why he had. Well, of course, in action films, you had to have a female love interest, even if it served no purpose to the plot whatsoever. It's like the Bechdel test, basically. They failed it miserably.
And even one of the best action movies ever made has a love interest in it, and it feels shoehorned.
Which one?
Commando. That love interest in Commando is completely
unnecessary. Radon Chong?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Radon Chong?
Yeah, she's completely unnecessary. That movie's amazing with or without her.
She helps none. She helps a little bit during the car chase, but
looks like she's got a present for us.
But you don't see her until after he's obliterated that fucking island of terrorists. So
look, I understand and appreciate the need for a love interest in film, but first off, love interests are only important if you make them important. I have never heard anyone say, well, he could have used a love interest. Most of the time, it's the love interest isn't needed. So if that seems to be the conversation, then maybe don't feel committed to put a love interest in the film. Maybe we're past the age of love interests for characters. Maybe there are stories worth telling that don't rely on love interests.
I get that sometimes that they need stakes for the hero, but give the love interest at least something like a personality or a plot device to put her in the film and make her a reason to be in the film, not just as set dressing.
Yeah.
Like, look at Die Hard. Die Hard did it perfectly. Can you technically call Holly his love interest? because they were kind of in the middle of a divorce.
Love interest enough that their on-screen time, as brief as it is in the film, is believable.
And they're back together in the second film.
Just where the story goes, yes, she's his love.
But she contributed to the plot of the film. She wasn't just a helpless damsel in distress. She was...
Not to say that there's anything wrong with damsels in distress.
I think the way they did it was very well done in Die Hard.
I agree.
And it's... Well, that's what makes it one of the greatest action films ever made.
Well, that and the writing and a lot of other things. But to your point, utilizing a character in that way is something that action movies would attempt to copy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, it's not like Die Hard was the first movie ever to do
it. But
to your point,
it made its mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of the early Steven Seagal movies made their mark on the action industry too. Under Siege, created its own subgenre.
Basically, Under Siege was Die Hard on a boat,
right.
Or not a boat, on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, and that on a vehicle thing opened up the world a little bit more for people to get a little bit more creative with Under Siege 2, Speed, Speed 2.
Speed 2.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Seagal has an impact on the industry. Now, in 2016 with this film, 2021, so 5 years later, it's just really, it's sad because, again, there are roles that you can do as an older action star.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen actors do it, but this kind of stuff is not believable. And not only is this not believable, it is so off-putting that this is the worst thing I think I've watched on this podcast so far.
I agree. I'm going to give you an example of how you can do this. Sylvester Stallone doing all these Rambo and Rocky films, but you know what he does with the character in these more recent films? He ages them, and they actually age.
And they take a backseat to everything else going on.
Exactly. They are broken down. They are old, not like old, like senior, but they have had experiences. They've gone through shit. They are very world worn, and he shows it. He doesn't pretend that Rambo is still this, unbeatable, invincible god. And when he made Rocky's never been the invincible. He's always been the underdog you root for.
Rocky doesn't win in the first movie.
Exactly. And that's what I like.
Itself is impressive.
And have you seen Rambo, the last two Rambo films?
I saw the one where he's in Cambodia. I did not see the one where he's.
But didn't you think
cartel members?
Didn't you think it was well done how they made the character world worn and just didn't want to deal with this shit anymore? Who wants to just live in peace and is forced back into it and is not an invincible. You see the bruises, you see the scars, and he gets hit a couple times.
I mean, look at something like Wolverine. I don't even like that movie.
You're one of the few.
That's okay. That's fine. I saw the Man with No Name movies before that movie. I mean, it's a Western in everything but name.
You want to hear something weird? I still haven't seen Wolverine.
It's okay. It's okay. It's kind of like Joker. It's okay.
Joker is so fucking overrated. I'm sorry. I just got to say it right now.
It's just okay. It's just okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. In Wolverine, you can show a character with vulnerability that is invincible, mind you. That character is, like you said, like Superman. He's invincible. So you can show a character have vulnerabilities. But again, like you've said, and I 100% agree, and I think that is the thing that needs to be impressed upon over and over again when you have conversations about things like this. It's not that we have an issue with actors who are old in action. It's that the movie refuses to acknowledge that they are old.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just insane because, like you said, cannot convince us that Father Time isn't always ticking forward. And we know that Steven Seagal is older. We know that he's getting older. He dyes his hair so that it doesn't look gray. It's okay, but you gotta be okay with it being okay, first of all, before you're even going to attempt thinking about doing the kinds of things that you're talking about that Sylvester Stallone has. You have to get out of your own way. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. And I mean, Seagal, for, the shit he's made is actually a very good screenwriter.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote the first Rocky, and, you can say what you want. You can make fun of Stallone all you want with it, the impressions, but the fact remains the dude is a talented writer, a talented actor, and he still makes good films.
Hey, Suicide Squad movie is better for having him in it.
Oh, is the shark?
Yeah.
As big yeah.
Is it a gimmick? Kind of, but
of course it's a gimmick.
Is it endearing? Yes.
It's very.
Is Stallone the only one of the big four that would do it? Yeah. Because Stallone has a sense of humor about himself. You know how I know that? He wrote The Expendables. You don't write those movies if you don't have a sense of humor about yourself.
He wrote The Expendables knowing that there was a nostalgia for the 80s and 90s action films, and I think sometimes people don't get that. They don't get the joke.
Well, you have to know that there's a joke to begin with to be able to understand, to be able to get the joke to be that.
I mean, come on. There's a joke in The Expendables 2 where Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger switch lines.
I know, but again, if you cannot get out of your own way, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, didn't they try to get Seagal for an Expendables film?
I believe they did, and I think he said something to the effect of like, "I don't work with funny people," and it's like, well, that's okay. You're not
funny.
You're not funny anyways. Nobody thinks you're funny, and they wouldn't ask you to be funny if they had a gun to their fucking head. So
even fucking right-wing psycho dickwad Chuck Norris had sense of humor enough to appear in The Expendables 2.
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know that?
He is. Am I acting surprised though?
He is an evangelical. Mike Huckabee.
Evangelicals are bad.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's one of those right-wing evangelical nut jobs that make us Christians look terrible.
Sure. Okay. He's the proselytizing type.
He is like Kevin Sorbo.
Cool. My favorite actor. My favorite Hercules.
I can see I know what you're doing there. And he's
poking the bear over there.
But at least Chuck Norris, knew to make fun of himself in The Expendables 2.
I mean, again, having a sense of humor about yourself kind of eliminates all problems in a lot of ways.
I mean,
if you can joke about yourself, everybody, if you can joke with people, you're taking the wind out of the sails before they even get an opportunity.
And I'm not saying make yourself parody. Don't parody or anything. Just take yourself not too seriously and enjoy and take some enjoyment in the fact that you're making sometimes ridiculous films.
Take it from me, a fat man. The easiest way to take the piss out of someone
is take the piss out of yourself.
Is to take the piss out of yourself. The easiest person to take the piss out of is yourself.
Exactly.
If you do it, other people can't. So there you go. That's how you beat people that don't think you have anything to offer, is you just hang a lantern on it and move forward, and then they can't say it because you've already acknowledged it. So, and that's this whole thing about, acting your age, or also, having the wherewithal to joke about yourself and laugh at yourself and understand that action movies are ridiculous if you think about what they actually are. It's a movie about someone killing thousands of people for our entertainment. That is fucking insane that could be your job. But yet people have done it for a living, and that's wild and crazy. And isn't that funny? No, isn't that serious? Like, no, come on, dude.
And the kills... Well, going back to the film, the kills in this film are just not that interesting. It's typical 2 hits from Seagal and the guy is damp and bullshit. And can we talk about the villains with the most cliched name for a Mexican drug lord, Jose Rivera?
Played by an Eastern European white man.
Yeah, I was looking up the guys who played him. And Jose Rivera, played by Mircea Dramberinu.
I don't know.
And by the way, the guy who played the terrorist was just a terrible actor. He was bad. He was really bad.
Look, there is nothing good about this movie. This
nothing.
Is an absolute waste of time, and it was a waste of $5 million.
It was $5 million for this fucking thing?
I hope somebody made a good chunk of change. I hope Steven Seagal paid whoever off with it, because there's no way that this movie wasn't a money laundering scheme for something. I don't know.
I hope Seagal made his car payments.
This was distributed by Lions.
Yeah, there were like 6 different fucking production companies before the movie even started.
Action House Pictures, Darrow Film Distribution, and yet it's on Tubi. So
yeah,
Tubi, home of things like this. That's what Tubi is, right?
Yeah, but Tubi also has good quality films on it.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about those movies.
We're talking about the shit films, right? I get you.
I'm not going to say shit. I'm going to say shovelware.
It's like we got to fill our app with. Yeah, we got to fill our app with something.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see what's cheap.
Those movies in those bins at Walmart have to be streaming somewhere.
Well, I mean, streaming services have to pay to put a film on their service, and it was probably cheap enough. They're probably cheap enough. They're like, yeah, fuck it, put it on there.
I bet
there's got to be something.
You know what I bet it is? I bet they just own the rights to it.
They probably do. It's not like the film. It's not like the film is going through rights different issues.
I bet, you know what I bet it is? I bet if not for something like Tubi, there would be nowhere to see them. And you know what? As bad as this movie is, I am perfectly okay with you having the ability to watch it. And as far as I'm concerned, if you didn't have the ability to watch it, the world would be a little bit of a less bright place, because being able to have access to stuff like this is good for a laugh. This isn't particularly so bad. This doesn't go into so bad it's good territory.
Much as I lament the death of the video store, streaming services have made it possible for more little-known films to get wider audience viewership.
I don't know how many people have watched this film this year on Tubi, Trevor, but we may be in a small handful of people who have seen this film in the last year, let alone 5.
There are still people who will see a film with the name Seagal alone, by just his name alone.
How many times do you have to get burned before you stop doing?
I don't know, man.
People who watch these films because they like Steven Seagal actually feel satisfied at the conclusion of these films? Because I can't imagine that they do, but maybe I'm wrong. I've hated on this a lot, but this has also been China Salesman level of just inane bullshit.
It is not as bad as China Salesman, but it's right below it. It is right below it.
If it's the worst thing we've watched, it has to be worse than China Salesman.
I don't know if it's worse than China Salesman, because I didn't really find it. It didn't make me...
If we're saying that this is the worst thing we've watched, it has to. If
it's not a little below it, it's on par. It is bad.
Yeah.
And China Salesman at least kept me interested with how bad it was. This one didn't even do that.
Yeah, but at least this movie's not 3 hours long.
No, it isn't. It's 90 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it feels like a slog, dude. It is a slog.
Honestly, I didn't find the length of this movie to be the issue. While it is boring and very little happens, I didn't walk away from this movie going, it was too long. I just said, nothing happens, and it kind of is just a general waste of time.
Can I posit a question to you? If you had switched the character from Cartels and the character from this, would it have made any difference?
Trevor, you're going to ask this every time we watch a new Seagal movie, because I feel like you're going to have to if I answer it now. Yeah. Yes, it wouldn't have mattered, and I don't think it would have mattered if it had been the character from General Commander either. Or frankly, I don't think it would have been any different if it had been Louder from China Salesman. Or even, you could even go as far as to say that the character in this movie, he retires and becomes the character from Attrition.
Didn't he do that in the last film, retire and come back?
Yeah, some shit. Well, he retired in this movie and then came back because he's...
Yeah, but didn't he retire and come back in Cartels?
Probably. No, in Cartels he was... Well, yeah, I guess. No. Man, does it matter?
No, not really.
It's a disappointing movie, but at least it's only an hour and a half. So maybe China Salesman is worse, just based on the fact that there's an hour more of it. But something about this movie just rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, God. It's
that sexy. I think it's the amount of bad Seagal in this movie. Like, China Salesman's bad, but is China Salesman bad because of Steven Seagal? No.
No, because he's barely fucking in it.
He's probably the better part of that movie. I think if you listen to our episode, you would probably come to the same conclusion.
Well, yeah. This one, he wasn't even...
He's the reason this movie's bad. He's one of the reasons. There's a difference between being passively bad and actively bad. He is actively bad in this movie and actively lazy, sitting in a car. There's body doubles a bunch of times. I don't know if you noticed all the body doubles they used for Steven Seagal.
Like I said, I wasn't paying enough attention or caring to even see it.
It's a lot of like shots of people walking out of locations. It's a dude that's much taller and much more well-kempt from the back than Seagal.
So much fucking ADR. I mean...
No ponytail, huh? Ponytail or no ponytail, Trevor?
-1 ponytail. No ponytail.
-5 ponytail.
-5 ponytails.
I mean,
Stay away.
If you see it on Tubi, maybe look for another one of these movies, because you know what? I get a sinking feeling, Trevor. There's probably more on Tubi.
Tubi or not Tubi?
We will be finding out very quickly.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Mad Vertigo, Instagram at Mad Vertigo, and occasionally you can find me once a month on the Culture Cast, hosted by my friend and yours, Chris Dashiu. Chris, where can people find you?
CSTACHIW.com. That's the link the link tree to all the things that I work on, which it's a lot of podcasts. So yeah, that's where you can find the shows that I work on and the links to socials. As for this show, onseagal.com is where you can find the show. Like us on iTunes, favorable review, either way would be helpful. But hey, you know what? This is a niche podcast for a very niche audience. And
we love this niche audience.
And we love this niche audience. We're part of this niche audience. But I totally get it if you don't want to interact with us. But if you do, you know how to find us. And as always, Trevor, Detail is sentient one and buyer of Steven Seagal.
Rated R.